time for The Pet Show with America's favorite pet expert, Warren Eckstein. Warren is the author of How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want and How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want. He's here to answer all your pet and animal questions. And now, Warren Eckstein.
Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to The Pet Show. Does your schnauzer have you really stressed out? Are your calico kittens really acting cantankerous? Is your St. Bernard behaving a little devilish well? If you love animals, I'm assuming you do, care about wildlife and the environment, and want to understand your dog's or cat's behavior almost as well as they understand yours. If you're confused about your dog or cat's behavior or just want to improve their lifestyle, you know what to do. Stay tuned because once again, right here, right now, it is time for The Pet Show. America's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, pet behavior, pet lifestyle show. So hop up on my couch. Bring those furry little buddies with you, folks. Yes, it is that time once again to let the animal analyzing begin. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. The place where we absolutely, positively, never, ever, ever a doubt about it, really love, adore, and as I stress out every single week, did I say stress out? As I stress every single week, respect pets and animals as much as you do. By the way, if you want to join me on the Ever-Growing Pet Show family, you have a question about your dog or cat's behavior, maybe the dog doesn't get along with the dog next door, maybe he's chewing up your favorite shoes, digging holes in your backyard, not eating too much, humping everything in sight, your cat's not getting along with the new cat, won't use the litter box, wakes you up in the middle of the night. You get the idea. That's what the Pet Show is all about and has been all about for over 43 years. It's helping people understand their pets better, but a lot more likely helping our pets understand the neurosis of living with you and I even better. So as always, plenty of time for all your comments, lots of time for your questions as well. Just a reminder, if you happen to be new to the Pet Show, welcome. If you're a regular listener to the Pet Show, welcome back. The bottom line is this: everyone that calls into the Pet Show today and gets to talk to me live, whether they answer a question, share a story, brag about their dog or cat, everyone that calls into the show today and gets to talk to me live on the air will, in fact, you know this by now, Alex, we're getting an absolutely amazing, amazing gift. Not for you, but for that beautiful dog or cat. So everyone that calls in, question or comment, want to share a great story, answer my question of the day, a great gift will be on its way for your best friend. And we're not giving away biscuits here, folks. A lot of the items I give away here on the Pet Show are worth as much as $30, $40, even $50. So it's a great time to give me a call. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870 KRLA. That's 866-870-KRLA. Or if you're more of a numbers person like me, make it a little easier, 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. Lots of pretty amazing stuff to give away on today's show. I got Lucy Pet Food, Hugs and Kisses, copies of my best-selling books, those air horns that everyone should have, the T-shirts, lots of great stuff. Great stuff from Nature Vet. So everyone that calls in will get a fabulous gift for their dog or cat. You don't even have to tell them I sent it. You can lie and say you bought it if you prefer. Again, that number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me tell you what is coming up on today's show. Hey, Alex, do I sound like a broken record when I say there's chances of me getting to all my topics are pretty limited because your questions, your comments, your stories, your bragging about your dogs and cats is always my priority. And very often, you know, I share a lot of information, but a lot of great information to my listeners comes from you, my listeners, your ideas, your just amazing stuff. You guys are really part of the show. It's not the Pet Show with Warren Eckstein. It's the Pet Show with the Pet Show family. I always like to put it that way. Again, 866-870-KRLA. Some really interesting topics coming up on today's show. You know, a lot of people say, well, I had my dog trained, Warren. He's trained. The dog is trained. Well, listen to me carefully. Training your dog is not a one-and-done situation. Just like learning, we always learn our entire lives. Just like with people, learning never stops. And if you want a confident dog, their training should continue throughout their life. Makes me crazy when someone says, well, I trained my dog. He's perfect. He knows how to sit. He knows how to stay. Big deal. It is a big deal, and I appreciate that. But the bottom line is, Training is not one and done. It has to continue through life, reinforcing new things. That's what makes life interesting for humans as well as our pets. Also coming up on today's show, unbelievable. I had a discussion this week, and the host suggested to me that cats don't have personalities. Do you imagine that? Telling Warren that cats don't have personalities? Well, I would have hit him, but I wasn't that close. The bottom line is this. I believe, and you know I believe, cats have personalities. But the question comes up, do they have personalities? Well, I'm going to prove it to you, and I'm going to tell you all the different personalities that our cats have. And if you're owned by a cat, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And from last week, I didn't get to it. Hopefully, I'll get to it this week. What do you do if you want to take your dog to the dog park? Or you just want to take your dog for a dog walk in the neighborhood? But he's a bully. He plays too rough with other dogs. Even though it's play, it's a little too rough. What can you do about it? Well, I'll show you how to calm those dogs down. And, you know, when we think about shelters, and I deal with shelters and rescues all across the United States and Canada and Guam even, every single day. Every single day. But when we think about helping dogs and cats at shelters, most people think about adopting. And that's absolutely great. But a lot of people can't adopt. So there's so many other ways you can help animals at the shelters. And shelters, let me tell you, I just spoke to shelters on the East Coast this week, on the South, in the Midwest, as far as Montana. I'm telling you, the shelters are overwhelmed right now, but there are things you can do. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to adopt, but there are things you can do to help those animals, and that's what we all want to do. As always, plenty of time for your questions and comments. As I said, lots of amazing stuff to give away. So if your pet is jumping, chewing, scratching, maybe that rescued feral kitten doesn't know how to use a litter box yet, I'll help you with that. That new puppy you saved isn't housebroken. We'll get through that as well. Your dog doesn't get along with other dogs. He sees another dog and he turns into Cujo. And he literally believes that anything he sees, he has to hump. Give me a call. Again, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. And the question of the day, I was kind of thinking about this. You know, people say to me, Warren, you act like a dog. Sometimes you act like a cat. Were you an animal in your last life? Well, I think I was. Maybe I still am. But I want to share this question with you. Do pets take on, I was going to start out, but do pets take on the personality of the people they live with? But do pets take on the personality specifically of one member of a family that they live with? So let's say you have a family, 2.5 kids, mom, dad, grandma, whatever. Does your dog or cat have your personality or actually mimic the personality of someone else in the family? Give me a call. As I said, I will send you a great prize, lots of great gifts to give away on the show today. I'm kind of in a giveaway mood. And again, many of the items worth as much as $40 or $50. So if you have a question or a comment, great time to give me a call. Again, that number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Now, I had a call this week. And it was kind of an interesting call. Someone was telling me that their normally well-behaved dog wasn't so well-behaved. So my first question is, what's changed in your situation? And they came back to me and said, well, I went back to work. I was working from home for like the last few years, and now I'm going back to work 3, maybe 4 days a week. And the dog's starting to react to that. Of course he is. Not only is he reacting to that, they react to when kids go back to school, when people go back to work. So these are things you need to take into consideration, kind of ease the dog or cat into it gradually. Great time to call me. Come on, guys, admit it. Does your dog or your cat have your personality or the personality of someone in your family? I know that sounds a little eccentric and maybe it sounds a little naive to people, but having trained over 40,000 animals from the poorest in the South Bronx to the wealthiest on Fifth Avenue, I can honestly say, give me 5 minutes with your dog, 6 minutes with your cat, and I will know more about you than you would ever want me to know. Our dogs and cats really do mimic ourselves, personality-wise, behavior-wise, even the way they look. Come on, our dogs look like us. You know they do, and so do our cats. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. I want to hear from you guys as well. If you think that cats don't have personalities. I mean, legitimate. This was a legitimate radio host in a major market. I'm not going to say where, but it starts with D and ends with S. Maybe Dallas. Could it be? Could it be? That said to me, Warren, I love you. I've been listening to you for years. But, when it comes to dogs, you're right on. But when it comes to cats do not have personalities. Cats are not as smart as dogs. Cats are not as sociable as dogs. And I said a bad word. I said many bad words, but the bottom line, am I right, am I wrong? Come on, cat people. The cats have personalities. The cats have feelings. Why do they get such a bad rap? I cannot figure out for the life of me, as many years as I've been talking to you guys. I remember doing a segment on Live with Regis and Kathy Lee many, many years ago, kind of at the beginning. This is kind of when they just went syndicated. I was their first guest, by the way. And Regis would start with me, well, cats don't do this and cats don't do that. Until he was convinced by his two daughters to die. I believe they were two Himalayan cats. I remember going over to his apartment and helping him train the two cats. And then all of a sudden his attitude changed. Because once you are owned by a cat, I mean that seriously, once you are owned by a cat, you understand the concept that living with a cat is living with a being of much, much higher intelligence than perhaps we have. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. The question of the day is, do you believe pets take on the personality of you or the personality of another member of your family? Give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. And do you change your exercise plans with your dogs now that I think fall starts in a week or so, the first week of fall or whatever? Do you change now that the weather's cooling down a little bit? Do you think that our dogs are getting more exercise? And do you think exercise is critical in keeping our dogs behaving the way we want them to behave? Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. Let me take a break here. When we come back, we'll get to you, Barbara and Eva. I want to give you guys a chance to call me. And as I said, on today's show, no different than others, I have Hugs and Kisses. Those are my own vitamin and mineral supplement treats. And if you're not giving your dogs and cats hugs and kisses, don't blame me. Arthritis Gold for hips and joints. As I said, copies of my best-selling books, either dog or cat. I have Lucy Pet Food. Those amazing t-shirts. I'm telling you, the response to the new t-shirts is incredible. Again, they say none of my friends walk upright. A different logo says The Pet Show on the back. By the way, if you get one of those t-shirts at thepetshow.com, that money goes directly to the Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund, which is my own 501c. I got all natural herbal flea spray. Who doesn't need that? I got No Scoots soft chews. What are those for? If you have a dog, you know who I'm talking about, that scoots his butt all the time, this is exactly what you may be needing for them. And if you have a dog licking his paws, I got some great stuff for that as well. So everyone that calls in gets to talk to me live on the air will get a fabulous gift for their dog or cat. Let me take a quick break here before my engineer Alex starts yelling at me. We'll get right to your phone calls. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. And by the way, happy Rosh Hashanah to everybody out there. Mighty Mouse is on his way. Hey, we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Phone number 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through to the show. Let me go right to the phones. Let me start out with Barbara in Redondo Beach. Hey, Barbara, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Warren. Thanks for taking the call.
Hey, it's my pleasure, Barbara. What's up?
I foster for a rescue group for cats, and I take in either seniors and or ones that have...
I love you already, Barbara. We've never met, and I love you already.
Oh, I love you too. And I'm going to get a new foster. She was a stray, picked up, sent to the Carson shelter. She's got many medical problems. She's got skin cancer on her ears. She's got a lot of itching, and she's pulling at her fur, and she's also blind. She's 7 years old. So bringing her into my house, how do I integrate her into my house of my cats and my fosters with her being blind?
The first thing you need to do is a lot of the other cats may challenge her because of her challenges. It's that simple.
Okay.
That's the survival of the fittest. You may be lucky. There are some that are really compassionate, will take them on. The first thing you need to do is wherever you're going to be keeping the cat for the first couple of nights, I want you to... I know this sounds a little eccentric, but one of the things I've done over the years, and one of the things that's kind of made me kind of eccentric to a lot of people, is I put myself in the dog or cat's position. So before the cat comes in, whatever room you're going to have her in at first, what I would do, literally, is I would blindfold myself, go down on all fours, and just kind of crawl around to see what dangers would the cat be facing that you're there. Anything sharp? Can she knock this over? Is this? Once you've accomplished that, the other thing I would recommend is to make a perimeter in that room of cardboard boxes. The reason for that is because she's going to bump into things, and cardboard boxes are not going to hurt her. So that's important. Plus the fact that it'll mentally stimulate her as well. The other thing, obviously, you want to do is you foster cats. You know about scent swapping. I don't have to go into deal about all the scent swapping. And the other thing is, you know your cats better than anyone. So you want to pick out the cat that seems to be the most congenial, the most comfortable around other cats, and that's where you want to make that initial introduction. The way to make that initial introduction is you can put the other cat into that room with you there, because what's going to happen now, you made changes where the cat that's blind is going to be, so the cat you're introducing in there might be more interested in all the new things in that room and a little less interested in the cat till they adapt to each other. Little by little, it doesn't happen overnight, but if you follow that advice, I promise you they will be absolutely fine.
Okay, yeah, because I've had blind cats, but they've become blind. I've never taken a totally blind cat into the house.
We don't, but we have no idea how long this cat's been blind. She's been blind since a kitten. So we don't. So in other words, she might have seen it one time. So those are the things you need to take into consideration. Remember, once an animal loses one of its abilities, one of its sense, like sight, for example, their nose becomes stronger, their hearing becomes stronger. So take that into consideration. Just make sure every time they get it, you end on a positive note, and you should be absolutely fine.
And then just like when I'm going to go near her, I need to talk so she knows, right? Like no surprises.
Yeah, well, you need to talk. Yeah, absolutely. Also, what you want to do is whenever you leave the house, leave a radio on. Let me recommend the station, KRLA. I wanted to hear voices. I mean, it sounds kind of funny. I'm recommending, but I don't care. But KRLA, she'll get smart at the same time. But I wanted to listen to constant talking at a very low volume without the intimidation of the people actually being there. Building up that self-confidence, building up that self-esteem. And I've worked with so many animals that have challenges, whether it be blind, deaf, whatever. You know what? The only one that knows it is us. After a while, they adapt perfectly, and you won't even remember that she lost her vision at all.
Isn't it true? They're so much better than we are.
I've had dogs with 3 legs. I talk about this one oldest English sheepdog I rescued was like 15 years old. You ready for this? 15 years old, blind, deaf, and was put in a shelter for aggressive behavior.
Oh, God.
So I went, this is a true story. I went to the shelter and I said, look, I want that dog. And they said, no, you can't have that dog. I said, what do you mean I can't have him? I'm here. I want him. They said, no, he's on the euthanasia list. He's getting put to sleep tomorrow. You can't have him. But I said, I'm here now. I'm here today. The euthanasia list is tomorrow. You're telling me that I can't have the dog now? And they said, no, we can't give you the dog because his paperwork has already been done. So now I got really PO, and I said, his paperwork's done, so you're going to kill him? I said, no, that's not going to happen. Luckily, I've been doing a lot of media in New York, so I called a friend of mine at Newsday. If you guys are familiar with Newsday, it's the big paper on Long Island.
Yep.
And I said to my friend, I said, listen, this is where we are. She shot right over there. Within 5 minutes, the dog was released to me. And Larry, I only had it for maybe another 6 months after that. But you know, when he crossed the Rainbow Bridge, he knew that he was loved, and that was critical to me.
You are so right, because I take in a lot of sick and seniors. And some of the seniors, 19 years old, I can have them 4 or 5 years. And sometimes I have them for a couple of weeks. But when they leave, they're in my arms in the home. They never leave the home.
That's what life's all about. So, Barbara, I'm trying to think out what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you on hold, and I'm going to send you some kitty lickies because I'm telling you, kitty lickies. Cats go absolutely bananas for this. So when you're introducing them, you can kind of use the kitty lickies as a way of introduction as well. But good luck to you, and God bless you for doing what you do. So many people doing incredibly amazing work out there. You know, we hear about the big groups, and we hear about these amazing organizations, and we just took in 30 puppies and we raise tens of thousands of dollars. But you know who does the bulk of the work with dogs and cats? It's the small mom and pops. It's people like Barbara with the smaller organizations taking the dogs, taking the cats in, and doing the incredible work they do. Hey, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I want to share this with you. Then we'll take a break and I'll get back to Eva, Juanita, and Jay will get to you as well. Animals have their ways, and I just wrote this week. I like to share with you guys some of the things I write during the week. Animals have their way of communicating with us that shows us they experience a rich emotional life. While pets have different ways of experiencing the world, what impresses me most is their ability to communicate with people. They don't speak our language, but they know how to speak to us to get the things they want and need. But sometimes their communications are subtle, and it takes an intuitive and deeply bonded pet parent like yourself to understand what your dog or cat is trying to communicate. So this is what I recommend all the time. I always tell people this, even when I'm doing seminars. I haven't done, maybe I should do a seminar in LA. I haven't done one in a long time. Is you have to really focus on watching your pets. You can learn so much about their feelings, so much about their emotions, so much about what's going on in their lives just by watching them and listening to them. You know what? Our dogs and our cats talk to us, maybe in a different language, but if you're astute enough and you get rid of this human ego, I promise you that you will understand them as well as they understand you, and that's really important. I talk about this all the time. Can you imagine how amazing our dogs are and our cats are, being able to communicate with us the way they do without speaking the same languages we speak? I have enough trouble speaking to people that speak different languages than I speak, even they're humans. Animals, it's entirely different. Sometimes I wish I was just nearly as bright as some of the animals I've worked with over the years. Hey, great time to give me a call. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Plenty of time. What are you guys afraid? Come on now. Are you guys afraid to tell me that your dog or cat has your personality? You know they do, or at least the personality of someone else in the family. I always joke that some of my celebrity clients over the years, David Letterman, his dog was actually funnier than Dave was. If the dog had a space between his teeth, he would have been hosting late night. And Lily Tomlin, who was one of the most incredible, most gentle women I've ever met in my entire life. Her dog Tess, her dog Tess had multiple personalities, just like Sybil. But remember, Lily practiced a lot of personalities that time as well. So dogs do take on, and cats for that matter, do take on the personalities of the people that live. Does your dog or cat have your personality or the personality of another family member? Give me a call. I'll send you a great gift. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to go. Let me take a break. We'll get right back to your calls. I promise, right after this. Listen, nature. Flipper. Hey, we're back on the Pet Show. You know, one of the greatest experiences in my life, I don't talk about it often, but many of you may not know that I was the creature keeper on the new Mickey Mouse Club. And I can't look at some of the Mouseketeers because I knew them when they were 11 or 12, and now they're full-grown women and doing things. But anyway, the bottom line is what an experience I had. We shot it, obviously, in Orlando, Florida, at Disney World. And I go down there every other week, and we tape a bunch of segments. And one of the greatest segments I ever was involved with was just spending time in the water, in the open water with some dolphins. Just amazing, incredible animals. And the hardest part for me was coming to the conclusion that the dolphins were researching with me more than I could ever research with them. They are just so incredibly bright. Talk about communication. Unbelievable. Hey, the phone number, yes, I was the creature keeper, and I did have to say, why? Because we like you. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Great calls coming in from Juanita, Jay, and Jim, but right now, let's go to Eva in Los Angeles with a real tough question. Hi, Eva. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Hello.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm just fine, enjoying your program. So I'm calling because I'm partially blind and I can't do much. And I had two cats across the street from me that would let me know when the mailman came or someone came to my door. So now they obey it. They don't let any of the dogs bark anymore. Please, I'm calling why they prohibit that.
No, I'm sorry. I'm a little confused here. Not your dogs, but someone else's dogs?
Yeah, across the street from me.
I can't. I don't know why they stop their dogs from barking, but I mean,
and it's awful because I can't go out to see who it is or nothing, and now it's so quiet.
Have you spoken to the person?
No, because they're across the street from me, and I can't go over there.
All right, here's the only thing I could recommend. I mean, I can't train the people, but what I could tell you, what I would recommend that you do, is you have someone come into your home. What they can do is they can put some type of strobe light in your home, so when someone comes to your door, knocks on your door, rings the bell, the strobe light goes off so you can see that strobe light. If this was your dog, it's a very easy problem to resolve. If the dog would stop barking, which I thought was the question, having trained some of actually training the first hearing ear dogs in America, I would teach the dog, if it were your dog, to run between what he hears and you, run back and forth and back and forth. I remember doing a whole big thing on the Today Show where we had a woman that lost her hearing and was partially blind, and I had to teach her dog to run between, and she was pregnant, so I had to teach her dog to run between the door or the T or the TTY machine and the baby. So there are things that can be done, but this is a tough one because it's not your dog. I can't train their dog. I could give you advice for your dog. But what I would recommend is get yourself a strobe light. If you have a strobe light, they can put it in your house. Basically, when the doorbell rings, if you're having difficulty, the strobe light will go off. It's bright enough where you could probably see it with the vision that you have. That would be my best recommendation at this point. Or a louder type of doorbell. But other than that, I can't teach the dogs to bark across the street, only if they were yours.
Oh, then they can bark whenever they want, then, there's no restriction about that.
Well, if they're barking, 10, 12 hours a day and it's annoying, that's a different ballgame. But I don't think that's the case here. I think you want them to bark to let you know that something's going on, and the fact that they're not barking, you don't feel as secure.
I see. Okay, learning. I'm glad I called, and I'm glad I accept your answer, okay?
Eva, I'm glad you called too, but don't go in there. I'm going to put you, do you have any pets of your own?
One cat, beautiful ragdoll cat, beautiful.
Beautiful ragdoll cat. I'm putting you on hold for your ragdoll cat, and I am going to send you a jar of my own Hugs and Kisses supplements for your ragdoll cat, and I do appreciate that phone call. 866-870-KRLA. It's amazing because I was working at a place in upstate New York, Brewster, New York, called Green Chimneys, and I was training not just the animals up there, but I was training PhD graduates from all over the world, from London, from down south, from California. no one was doing the hearing ear dogs back then. So my job, having trained many of them, was to teach people how to do it. So they had all these PhDs coming to me, and I would work with them twice a week. I would drive to Brewster, New York, a couple hours from where I lived, and I would work with these people. And just amazing to see the results when people get to work with a dog that makes their life really a lot better and improve it. Hey, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. Let me go to Juanita, and then we'll get to all your calls. Hey, Juanita, welcome to the Pet Show.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call.
Hey, it's absolutely my pleasure, Juanita. How can I help you today?
Well, I have 4 dogs. They're all rescues, but my little girl is a long-haired Chihuahua. Her name is Maya. She's going on 14, but she's not eating anymore. She's just. I tried everything.
Okay, let's go over her eating habits. Okay, a couple of things right off the bat. Number one, as our dogs get older, their tastes change, but more importantly, the way they smell things change. And I say this every week. Dogs don't eat with their mouth, they eat with their nose. So, and the same goes for cats. So as they get older, if they're not smelling things the way they smelled them when they were younger, it can discourage them from the appetite they may have had in the past. So here's some tips for you. Number one, right off the bat, try just taking some of the food she normally eats and popping it in the microwave just for a few seconds. Heating up the food makes it smell stronger. That might be enough to encourage her to eat. If that's not working, what you can do is boil up some chicken, boil up some fish, use some of that juice, pour it over her food, and then pop that into the microwave for a few seconds. Also, if they're real finicky, some dogs absolutely adore, if you can't, especially at 14 years old, maybe trying some baby food on the market for them. There's a little baby food. You can go to the supermarket. Sometimes that can encourage them to eat. Sometimes just opening a can of tuna and pouring the tuna water over can get them to eat. Now, in severe cases, your vet can actually recommend appetite stimulants for your dog, and even in some cases, there's actually an anorexic diet. Nothing you have to worry about at this point. Try the advice, heating up the food, boil the chicken, boil the fish, try the baby foods and the tuna juice, see if that doesn't encourage. Remember to heat it up, because as it smells stronger, the dog's going to be a lot more encouraged to eat it.
Well, thank you so much. I will try that. I mean, I do the chicken. I'm going to try the baby food because that sounds good.
Yeah, but don't forget to take that chicken, take the juice from the chicken and kind of mix it up and heat it with his regular food. I want him to get the nutrition from his regular food, but at the same time, I want to make sure that if he's not eating it, we make it a lot more appetizing for him.
Okay.
All righty, listen, Juanita.
I do that.
Oh, don't go in. I'm going to put you on hold, Juanita, and I am going to send you, let's see, for your 14-year-old dog, what am I going to send you? You know what? I'm going to send you, 14-year-old dog, I'm going to send you a jar of my hugs and kisses as well. I know it's the most expensive thing I have, and I know it's my own, but I want you to have that because this way, at least if we can get him to eat the hugs and kisses, we know he's getting the nutrition that he needs. Got to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to get to Jay and Jim. Great time to call me. I got lots of great stuff to give away. You just heard me give away hugs and kisses. I got the books. I got Kitty Lickies, Lucy Pet Food, Flea Spray. And if you just want to answer my question, I'm not really bad. I'll send you a gift anyway. The question is, do your pets take on the personality of you or members of your family? Give me a call. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752, 866-870-KRLA. That is the phone number. A quick break, then right back to all of your calls. All right, listen. And we are back on the Pet Show on Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call. The phone number 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. You know, I get into arguments every once in a while with other radio hosts, and here's an argument I got into last week about cats and personalities. They said to me, cats don't have personalities. Later on in today's show, I'm going to tell you all the different personalities I believe cats do have. But bail me out here. Help me out here, guys. For my cat guardians out there, do you feel that cats have personalities? They always, the dogs have great personalities, and my dog's funny, and my dog's this. Come on, cat people, help me out. I believe 100% that cats have just as many personalities as our dogs do. Does your cat have a personality? Give me a call. I'll send you a great gift if we get through, because you got to bail me out. I need help on this one. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Do cats have personalities? A lot of people say no, they're just cats. I say nonsense. They have better personalities than half of the people I know. Am I wrong or right? 866-870-KRLA. That is the phone number. Hey, Jay and Van Nuys, welcome to the Pet Show.
Well, hi there.
How you doing, Jay?
We had a lot of hot days the last few weeks here. So, excuse me. My cat hates being brushed, and so made it pretty hard to brush him out. He's like a Maine Coon.
Yeah.
And so I didn't brush him, and he had a lot of undercoat. He ended up licking and ingesting a large amount of hair. And then I realized he must be, I was worried he might have a bowel impaction from all the hair. And he got listless, sleeping all the time. And I finally, he did vomit up a huge hairball. Let's get beyond that. The fact that he's licking all his hair, chewing his hair, he ingested his hair and hair. Have you been to the vet at all? So I took it. Well, the thing is I did. Once he got in that condition, I was able to brush him out and got out of his undercoat. Okay. But since then, he's lost a lot of weight, and he's developed a dermatitis condition where he's still licking and chewing on himself, and the vet gave me some kind of, an antihistamine liquid. There wasn't a lot of it, but I'm still trying to give it to him. I give it to him like 3 times, and they send it every 12 hours. All right, so he's on the antihistamine now. But so, what's your specific question for me, Jay? Is there something I can bathe him in that would soothe his skin? Yeah, there's a couple of things. Some people recommend oatmeal shampoo. There are other shampoos on the market. But do we know it's allergies? Well, no. Don't know about the allergies. Here's what I'm going to do, okay? I'm going to brag a little bit, and I want you to listen to me carefully. I am going to send you a jar of my own Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplements for your cat. And here's why. One of the things I focused on with Hugs and Kisses was skin condition, coat condition, shedding, excessive licking, and dry skin, which is all causing an excessive licking, unless it's a specific allergy. There's lecithin and biotin in Hugs and Kisses. It's the only product out there that has both. That's why it's so much to make, from my perspective, because I want to have both in there. I want you to try the Hugs and Kisses supplements for a good 3 to 4 weeks, at which point you're going to notice a difference in the excessive dander, maybe the dry skin, even the excessive licking. So that's part of it. So I'm going to send you the Hugs and Kisses supplement for him. But the other thing I'd like you to do as well is try to give the cat a lot more stimulation mentally. Cardboard boxes, paper bags, grow some organic plants, organic catnip, change them every day. Sometimes this type of excessive compulsive thing can be related to boredom as well. So let's handle it twofold. Number one, with the Hugs and Kisses, so important because of the lecithin, so important because of the biotin, in conjunction with trying to mentally stimulate the cat at the same time. Unless your vet is coming back and saying he's allergic to this, he's allergic to that, this is what you got to do, this is what you can't do, follow that advice, and I think you're going to be right on target, and I think you'll start noticing a difference within a couple of weeks in the cat as well, Jay. Well, thank you. No, thank you for being, I'm going to put you on hold. We'll send it. I thank you for being so concerned about your cat.
I don't talk a lot about my Hugs and Kisses supplement, and I guess the reason it's been around for 30 some odd years is because I was able to make the changes as things change. And again, if it's skin and cold, and I'll talk about Hugs and Kisses more later when I do a commercial for my own spot, but that lecithin and biotin is so important. If you were to go to a drugstore, a health food store, and say, listen, I'm having trouble with my own hair and skin, lecithin would be one thing they'd recommend, and biotin would be something else. Put them together, the perfect combination, as we did in Hugs and Kisses, can make all the difference in shedding and dander and excessive licking, which, again, that licking can turn into a compulsive problem, as Jay's. Hey, great time to we got to take a break. We'll get back to you, Jim. Great time to give me a call. The phone number here, excuse me, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. We have a whole other hour to go. Plenty of time for your calls. As I said, if you're new to this show, lots of great stuff to give away. Lucy Pet Food T-shirts, hemp seed oil, all natural flea spray, those air horns that everyone should have. Just coyotes in my neighborhood the other day would not take my dogs out without an air horn in my hand. We have those to give away as well. Plenty of time for your calls. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. A quick break, then right back to your calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. And we are back on The Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. That phone number, 866-870-KRLA. That is the way to get through. You know what, Tim, I'm going to come to you, Tim. Tim, you with me? Hey, Tim.
Hello?
Hi, Tim. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you, and thank you for your show. I get out of this noise. We have two terrier mixes that are rescues, and we've had them now for about 6 or 7 years. Well, yeah, and they're both about 8 years old, and one is, the female is very A-type personality, if you will, and the male is very shy, and she definitely is, it seems like the alpha. She will, and that's what the call is about, kind of like bullying, because she, they're both terrier mixes, like I said. And
Tim, let me do this. I don't want to rush your call. I want to have plenty of time to go over this because you rescue these dogs. I'll talk to you. We can resolve this problem. Aggression is one of the things I deal with most of the time. Kate will get to you as well. So let me put you on hold. If you can just hold for a couple of more minutes, we'll get right to you after the break. I'll give you as much time as you need. I don't want to rush you. By the way, great time to give me a call. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Quick break, then right back to all of your calls. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. And do your pets have your personality or the personality of another member of the family? Give me a call. If you get through, a great gift will be on its way for your buddy. I'm Warren Eckstein. You're listening to The Pet Show. And if you love animals, you have come to the right place. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. If you have questions or comments about your dog or cat, they're jumping, they're humping, they're digging, or your cat's waking you up in the middle of the night, your cat peed on your pillow, you take your dog for a nice walk after dinner, he sees another dog and he goes absolutely berserk. He's humping everything in sight. Your cat refuses to use the litter box. You get the idea. If you have a question about your dog or cat's behavior, or just want to brag a little bit about a rescue dog or cat you saved, great time to give me a call. By the way, if you happen to be new to the Pet Show, here's the deal. Everyone that calls into the show and gets to talk to me live on the air does get a great gift. Now, people might be saying, Warren, why do you give these gifts away? And let me explain, as I do every week. The reason I give the gifts away is very often the resolution to your problem is related to the item I'm giving you. And many of the items I give away here are $30, $40, $50. So everyone that calls in and gets to talk to me live will get a fabulous gift for their dog or cat. That phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Now, the question of the day is, and you don't have to have a question, if you just want to answer my question, I'm fine with that as well, is do you believe that our dogs and cats take on the personality of the people they live with, or one specific person in the household? You know, I've worked with dogs in so many different homes, and you can actually look at the dog and see, that dog has the same personality as that member of the family. So that's the question of the day. I also want to talk about this. If you're involved with rescue, if you're involved with saving animals, later on I'm going to talk specifically, a lot of people think that the only thing they can do to save a dog or help a dog or cat at a shelter is to adopt. There are dozens of things you can do, and I'm going to share those a little bit later on the show as well. And here's the kicker, folks. I did an interview this week, and you know how I feel. I believe that cats are just as smart as dogs. I think that cats are so smart, in fact, they convince people that they can't be trained, so that we leave them alone. And the question came up is very simple. Warren, the host, said to me, he said, dogs have amazing personalities. Cats, Warren, don't have personalities at all. I wish I was closer. I would have given him a left hook in her. Just joking. So my question is to you, am I absolutely eccentric? Or do other people out there believe, like I do, that cats really do have different personalities? I want to hear from you. Help me feel normal, guys. Give me a call if you believe like I do, and any other questions that you may have. Again, the number, 866-870-KRLA. I got lots of kitty lickies to send away, my cat book, Lucy Cat Food as well. So great time to give me a call. I want to hear from some cat people out there. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. And as I hear from you, what I'll do a little bit later on the show is I will share what I believe are the 5 distinct personality traits that cats have. But I want to hear from you first to see what your thoughts are. Again, give me a call. I'll send you a great gift, 866-870-KRLA. Excuse me, 866-870-5752. Before the break, I was talking to my friend Tim in Culver City. Tim has 2 terrier blended breeds, and he says the female is aggressive. Tell me a little bit more about your dogs, Tim.
All right. Well, as I told you, they were both rescues. By the way, in answer to your question first, I don't see that so much in our 2 dogs about them having, reflecting the personality, but my mom's poodle mix, there's no question about it.
So in other words, I was talking about your mom and her poodle are just like the one personality together.
Yep.
I hope she's not listening. Go ahead. So tell me about your dogs again. So you have the 2. You have a male and a female. They're blended breeds. How old were they when you rescued them?
They were only about 2 years old.
Okay, and now you said they're what, 5?
They're about 8.
Oh, about 8 years old.
Yeah.
Now you use the term that your female dog is more aggressive, and you use the term alpha. I want you to describe to me what alpha means.
Okay, just kind of like my wife would say, where's the pants in the family? She has that herding instinct anyway, but, when the other dogs, and sometimes we babysit another family of dogs, and she just kind of herds them around her when they get in our way. She barks at them really loud. She has this kind of shriek because, again, they're terrier mixes. And then that's what I just mean. The other dogs.
Well, let me tell you something right off. Hey Tim, let me tell you this, okay? I personally am not a terrier mix, okay? Just so you know, I'm not a terrier mix, okay? That being said, when strange people come into my house and they're hanging out in my neighborhood, when I say my neighborhood, I mean my house and my bathroom, my garage, my kitchen, my this, my that, I get a little upset too. So that might be normal behavior. My question to you is, let's describe the aggressive behavior. Is she biting? Is she nipping? Is she totally going aggressive towards these other dogs? Or just kind of hurting them and letting them know, this is my house. You're okay, but this is my house. I'm in charge.
Well, I'm mainly talking about the two that live together, her and the male. For instance, he won't walk by her to get into his bed if the beds are together. That's one thing. I have to pick him up and then put him in his bed. And she might be, if she's sleeping and he saunters by in her bed, she'll all of a sudden wake up and just start that barking and shrieking at him.
But no biting. No biting.
No, never. She won't bite. No.
Okay. So the bed situation seems to be a problem for you. So here's what I would do. I would get a third bed at this point. And the reason I'm saying that, listen, I have 2 dogs, I have 5 beds, but you don't have to be that crazy. I would get a third bed. What often happens when a dog sleeps in a bed on a regular basis, that bed becomes their den. That bed becomes their life. Their smell is in that bed. Their comfort's in that bed. Their dreaming is in that bed. Their nightmares are in that bed. That bed is theirs. So it's not unusual for a dog to become possessive over another dog walking in front of their bed. If there was aggressiveness in terms of biting, that would be a different ball game. But the fact that she's just barking and letting the other dog know she's not thrilled about him walking by, I would definitely get a third bed, put it alongside the more assertive dog's bed, so she realizes she has 2 beds. That may relieve her of being so possessive over the one bed when the other dog walks by it. But the fact, when you take them outside, if you let them outside in your backyard and they're playing, what's the play like?
They don't play. He doesn't like toys. He's a real timid guy, and to this day, even if you raise your voice, I told you he's a rescue. If you raise his voice, you'll kind of cringe, even if you're not talking to him. And,
well, no, that's very common. Let me give you my 2 dogs, Molly and Rescue, are both rescue. Molly and Willie are both rescues. All right, totally different personalities. I adore them both. They're both amazing. But Molly is more of a confident dog, and Willie was abused a lot, so he has less confidence. So it's just the different personalities take place. The fact that they've been together with you for 5 years. The fact that, and there's been no biting, you know what? Have a glass of wine, go to sleep, leave it alone. Add that third bed, you'll be fine.
Okay, will do. Thank you so much.
Oh, Tim, listen, don't go. Listen, your dogs have there's either, be careful how you answer this, but either one of your dogs have the personality of you or your wife.
That's what I was saying. I was going over that while I was on hold, and I don't see that in our 2 dogs. At all. Maybe
so you're not more dominant than your wife, and your wife's not more dominant than you.
It's not even like that at all.
I don't believe you. I don't believe for a minute. Not 1 minute. Anyway, Tim, don't go in. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to send you, for your 2 dogs, I am going to send you. You know what? I'm going to switch your food. I'm going to send you over to some Lucy pet food, and I appreciate that phone call. But when you make the transition, do it gradually. Hey, the phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. The reason I asked, I'm going to get to you, Carol, Christopher. Great time to call me. I do have an open line or 2, which is pretty rare on the Pet Show. 866-870-KRLA. KRLA, 866-870-5752. The reason I asked Tim if he would define alpha for me. I mean, I have people calling me, telling me their car's an alpha, their piano's an alpha, their lawn's an alpha. People have no idea what alpha means. They watch a TV show for a couple of years, and all of a sudden, alpha is the word of the day. I want you to read up on alpha. I want you to figure out what the word alpha means. It doesn't mean the toughest. It doesn't mean the meanest. It doesn't mean the most aggressive. It means the one who breeds the best. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. I'm going to get to your calls in just a couple of minutes. Carol, don't go anywhere. Christopher, don't go anywhere as well. Coming up, I'm going to share something that's real important to me. We're going to talk about the concept of whether or not cats do in fact have personalities. Where's my cat, people? Come on, guys. You're telling me that you can sit there and listen to the fact that someone said that cats have no personalities whatsoever, and you're going to take it? Give me a call. Let's hash this out, and let's let these people know how wrong they are. 866-870-KRLA. That is the phone number. Every once in a while, I come across some really, really stupid information online. And once again, I came across this. Some dogs come unglued with hurt feelings, pouting, or even worse, freezing up if you administer a physical correction. For these dogs, frequently the use of an electronic collar the use of an electronic collar is the best option because it's impersonal. The correction doesn't appear to be coming directly from someone they love. It's sort of a bolt from the blue. Electric shock collar. Alex, what words am I allowed to use on the air? Not that one. Anyway, the bottom, I cannot believe I even read this, and people will go online, they'll read this and say, you know what, this guy says, or this person says, I can use an electronic collar, it's fair, it's good for the dog. I say, nonsense. Electric collars should never be used for those purposes whatsoever. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. You notice changes in your dogs when it comes to different types of weather? Do you find that your dogs are more active in the summer, or the fall, the spring, the winter? I know the weather's not as variable here in California, but I do notice, and a lot of people call me, and you know, it's interesting, having been doing the show for as many years as I've been doing it, I've noticed certain behaviors that come up more certain times of year than other times of year. For example, fall's one of those times of year, and I think it's because, you know, the leaves are dropping and the different types of plants are changing, and those scents bring on different reactions in our dogs and cats. By the way, a little warning out there, just this morning, it was like 4:30 in the morning, I went outside with Molly and Willie, and I'm looking around my backyard, and I noticed a couple of mushrooms popping up. So I went out there with a flashlight and I picked them. So make sure if there's mushrooms in your backyard, get rid of them before your dogs and your cats go out. It's a great time to give me a call. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA. If you have a question about your dog or cat, jumping, excessive barking, digging, not eating, not using the litter box, doesn't get along with other dogs, any questions about behavioral issues you may have or lifestyle, great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Quick break, then right back to your calls. Hey, listen. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Carol, Christopher, Robbie, Jana, we'll get to you right after this. You know, training your dog isn't a one-and-done situation. A lot of trainers and people think it is, but it's not. Training your dog isn't a one-and-done situation. When I was working in Europe, the dogs were being trained and educated constantly. You'll need to reinforce the training as they get older to ensure you have a well-behaved dog. You need to use this time to bond with your puppy, create a relationship where training is fun for you both. Reinforce the basics as well. Just like with people, training and educating is a constant thing. So just because you sent your dog away or you had a trainer come to the house for 6 or 8 weeks, that's great. I hope your dog learned well. But remember, you have to reinforce that it's not one and done. Continue training your pets. It can make all the difference in the world in terms of their behavior. It's kind of the person that says to me, my dog's been great. All of a sudden he's 4 years old and his attitude's changing. Maybe he just needs a little bit more stimulation, and that's where the training comes into place. Train for life. Just like we learn for life, our pets learn for life as well. 866-870-CAROL, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Hey, Carol, Mission Viejo, welcome to the show.
Hi there, Warren.
How are you today, Carol?
Taking my call.
Oh, it's my joy. What's up?
Okay. Well, I wanted to say a few words about cats because I've had cats my entire life, and they have amazing personalities, and they're all different. And but I loved every single one of them, but they are very different. I think female kitties are different than male cats, just like men and women are different, right?
Well, you know, there was a study that came out not that long ago that actually said, God, I'm going to get in trouble, that said male cats are friendlier and more affectionate than female cats. I think it's an individual cat thing, but the study came out and said male cats are more affectionate. I don't necessarily buy it.
No, I don't. I just think the male cats, I don't have a male cat right now, but I have had them, and my son's family has had 3 of them, and they've all been very, very loving.
That's because you have loving people in your family. That's if you have loving people in your family, you can have loving cats. So I don't want to run out of time. So what's your question for me about your dog?
Okay, my dog licks her. She's 4 years old. She licks her paws constantly until I feel them. They're wet, just wet, and she takes her paw and turns it over to where the bottom of her paw is, and she's licking. And
okay. Is it all year round? Is it all year round that she's licking?
You know what? I should write that down. Honestly, I don't know. I know it's been bad for the past, but I think maybe worse this year. But my allergies are worse this year.
Well, yeah, but also remember the grasses are growing. There's more pollen in the air this year. So there's a lot of things that can be involved. That's why I asked if she was licking the bottom or licking the top. Sometimes it can make a difference if it's licking the bottom. Usually it's more of an environmental thing. The top, more of an airborne thing. So it's important to know that. But there's a couple of things that you can do. Number one, there are certain compulsive behaviors. Sometimes a dog will start out with an itching paw, and they'll lick it till it becomes a compulsive behavior, can even develop into what's called the granuloma. So if we have a dog that's licking excessively, we have to look at it twofold. Number one, we look at it specifically from a behavioral standpoint. Is he bored? Is he getting enough exercise? Is he getting enough mental stimulation? That's number one. Number two is he licking because when he's in the house at a specific time after he eats? Some dogs will do that. Here's the bottom line. What I'm going to do, there's a great product on the market. It's manufactured right here in Southern California by my friends at NatureVet. It's actually an anti-lick paw spray. I'm going to send you some of this anti-lick paw spray for your dog. However, that being said, I really want you to watch the dog carefully. I want you to see if he's licking more of the bottom, if he's licking more of the top, if it's one specific paw, if it's all 4 paws. Sometimes it's just a matter of dogs grooming themselves. For example, what type of dog is this?
He's a mix, Shih Tzu, Maltese, maybe something else. I don't know.
Okay, because sometimes certain breeds, and we call them blended breeds now, but certain breeds very often, like Chihuahuas, are known for cleaning themselves and licking their paws. It's just part of the way they are. People call me up all the time. I say, listen, my guy's a Chihuahua, a min pin, a combination, chai pins as they're called. And the bottom line is Molly is one of those lickers, licks her paw constantly, but I know it's more of a grooming thing because I check them carefully. So let's get everything. I'm going to send you some of this anti-lick paw spray from Nature Vet. That's important. But I want you to watch carefully. Make little notes for yourself. Is it happening more now this month than it happened last month? All of that can make a difference in terms of where you want to go in the future. Could be allergies as well. We don't know. Did you change the cleaner? Did you put down new carpeting? Something different in the house? But in the meantime, I'm going to send you the anti-lick paw spray. Watch them carefully. If that doesn't make a difference, maybe a quick trip to the vet, and he can see whether or not there's an allergy problem or not.
Okay, Warren, thank you.
So Carol, let me ask you a question. Does your dog have your personality?
Yes, she does.
Don't tell me you lick your paws. Come on, I know you don't lick your paws.
What?
There are things in my life. No, I know you're laughing, but this is true. When I did a show in New York for many years, a TV show called Saturday Morning Live. It was a live TV show. They had a fitness expert. I was obviously the pet expert. And it was hosted by Gene Rayburn, my mentor, the guy I love more than anybody in the world. I miss him so much. A great guy, by the way. And they would always tease me by saying to me, Warren, it's you and the dog have the same personality. You scratch your head the same way. You eat the same way. I said, what do you mean I drink my water the same way? I drink out of a glass. I don't drink out of a bowl. I might prefer drinking out of a bowl, but I just don't. So anyway, listen, don't go on. Put you on hold. The lovely Suzette's going to pick up. We're going to send you some Nature Vet's anti-lick paw spray out to you. I want you to give that a shot. But also, there's some great products on the market for allergies, so I want you to check that out as well and check it out with your vet. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we have, we have Janet, we have Robbie, we have Carol. Got a couple of open lines, 866-870-KRLA. When I come back, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share, and this is my opinion now, I'm going to share, and I wrote them down for those guys on YouTube. It's all written down, okay? I wrote them down for those people, the personality types that cats have, different personalities that our cats will display. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Besides that, we're talking about compulsive behavior, tail chasing, licking, spinning, pacing, chewing, barking, biting at invisible objects for cats, all of those over-grooming, repetitive vocalizing, that all could be signs of compulsive behaviors in dogs. Generally, compulsive behavior in dogs is created by people not giving their dogs the opportunity or their cats the opportunity to fulfill their mental stimulation. That's usually what causes compulsive behaviors. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. A quick break, then right back to your phone calls. Hey, listen carefully, guys. And we are back on the Pet Show. I love this song. I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I don't know, cat people and personalities. So the question comes up, do cats have personalities? Well, let me take a call and I'll answer that for you, and I'll give you all the different personalities I've separated that I believe our cats have, and I know there's even more than that. But right now, let me go to my friend Christopher in Los Angeles. Hey, Christopher, welcome to the Pet Show. Hello, Christopher. Hello, Christopher. Hello, Christopher.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. I have two quick questions, but they're very, very important. Can you answer both, or you want me to both?
Tell me what they are. I'll see what I can do.
Okay. I have a cat. The first one is the cat is under the house that I've been taking care of. It's a stray cat. He's real skinny. I can't catch him to take him to the vet. Is there anything I could put in his food, a dewormer or whatever, to see if he'll put weight on? But he eats like crazy, but he's just skinny.
Well, and the fact that he's eating like crazy, is he an older cat or a younger cat?
He looks like he's about 5.
Okay.
4 or 5.
If he's eating and he's not gaining weight, obviously it could be some type of parasites. It could be a hookworm, could be roundworm, could be pinworm, could be tapeworm, which it sounds like it could possibly be. What I would try to do is I would try to work with a group or yourself, and I would use a have a heart trap. And I would make sure you put some food in that have a heart trap. This way, when he goes in, the trap closes behind him. He doesn't get hurt at all. It's the most humane thing you can do. And this way, it'll give you the opportunity, and bless you for even considering this, the opportunity to get him to the vet, Christopher, and find out, is there something going on internally? Is it a matter of just parasites? The only thing you can also do at this point, and this is going to sound disgusting, but can you get near an area where he's pooped?
I don't even know where he's pooping.
Okay, so I was going to say if you can just grab some of his poop and bring that poop to the vet.
If I find out where he's doing it, I don't know. Yeah, he's so sneaky. He comes out and eats, and then I want
you to use a have a heart trap. I would contact some of the rescue groups in your area, explain to them the situation you're going through, trying to trap this cat to get him to the vet. They can probably lend you and give you some great advice on how to trap this cat, get him to the vet, and then you can decide to either adopt him or find the perfect home for him.
Okay, perfect. I'll do that. Okay, my next important question. My dog is scratching like crazy. What do I do?
What kind of dog do you have?
It's a pit bull. I put coconut oil on him. I bathe him for fleas. I put a topical.
But see, we always assume that the itching's from the outside in, but the itching could very much be from the inside out. If you were listening earlier, I was talking about my Hugs and Kisses supplements, and I was talking about the concept of originally I developed it for skin and coat conditions. So I put a combination of things that are absolutely amazing. I put the lecithin and biotin in it. What I'm going to do, and first of all, what's your pitty's name?
His name is Grunt. Grunt.
What color?
He's a brindle.
Is there anything more affectionate than a pitty?
Nothing.
I'm just people. People don't get
like you asked earlier.
I remember years ago. Years ago, I actually was involved with breaking up a dog fight in New Jersey, and it was a horrible situation. The dog collars grew under this. It's just horrible. I'm not going to get into this. Anyway, one of the dogs I rescued from that group, a friend of mine adopted and I worked with, and I'm telling you, this dog turned out to be the boomer Benji of the world. I don't think I've ever met a more affectionate dog to everybody, even off the hell we went through, even with other dogs, just great dogs. So anyway, here's what I'm going to do. Christopher, if you promise to call me back in like 3 or 4 weeks, I can't believe how much of this I'm giving away today. I'm going to send you a jar also of my Hugs and Kisses supplement. Not only is it going to help with the shedding, the dandruff, the licking, the concept, but also help with the bones, the hips, the joints. It has. I'm going to do a commercial for later. Digest everything. I want you to promise me you'll call me back, and I'm going to send you some.
Yeah, I promise you. Yeah.
Well, all right, and then you give that. Listen, I want you to call me back and let me know if you've had success. Also, if you go to my website, thepetshow.com, you'll find a part of it that has a list of rescues and humane organizations in Southern California. Contact them; they maybe help you with the cat as well. And if you find an organization that's a 501c3 that's going to help you with the cat, let me know that organization, and I'll make a donation to them. In the meantime, I'm putting you on hold, Christopher, and the lovely, lovely Suzette. She's lovely. She has to put up with all of you guys. The lovely Suzette will get your information, and a jar of my own Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplement treats will be on its way to you. Robbie, don't go anywhere. Janet, don't go anywhere. Both got really interesting questions. So here's the deal. My question today was basically to you guys whether or not you believe that cats have personalities. And I got into a disagreement. I get into disagreements every week, but got into a disagreement because I believe that cats do have incredible personalities and very often do take on the personalities of people. So what I've done is I've kind of given 5 different personality traits that cats may have. Not all of them are positive, but there's all different traits that can be worked on. So some cats can be very skittish. Could be a cat that came in from an abusive situation or has never been socialized. Some cats are incredibly outgoing. You know which ones I'm talking about. Other cats can be dominant. Some cats react with spontaneity, and some cats are just overly friendly. So they can be friendly, they can be spontaneous, they can be dominant, they can be outgoing, they can be skittish, they can be depressed. Just some of the things. Cats do have amazing personalities. You know, my best-selling book, How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. I'm telling you, that book to this day, by the way, published by Random House, that book to this day is still a bestseller because I go into the different aspects of a cat's life, not just this aspect or not just that aspect, but the importance of building up their self-image, building up their cat's self-esteem. For years, so many people in the behavior field would say, well, you can't do anything with cats. Cats can't be trained. That's a cat. Cats are just... I'm going to get in trouble again, guys. Cats are just as smart as dogs are. If we take the time to educate them, if we take the time to socialize them, if we take the time to give them the opportunity to bond with us, I'm telling you, cats are absolutely amazing. Anyone that's been owned by a cat knows exactly what I'm talking about. But very often you'll hear calls come into the show, my cat's reacting this way, my cat's shy, my cat's withdrawn. That's because you guys are absolutely angels. The majority of people that call me up with cat questions on the show here are people that have rescued cats off the streets or from shelters or humane organizations. And that's why the cat may be coming with a little bit of issues, but every one of those issues can be resolved. That's why I say I am absolutely in awe of the listeners to the Pet Show. And that's why we're probably the longest running show here in Southern California. Probably the longest show in the 43 years we've been on the air. I don't know if there's any show that's been on longer than me. 43 years, and that's because we have a relationship. You are part of the show. It's not that I'm the host, and you are part of the show. And your questions, they push me, and they push me to the point where I want to do everything I possibly can to make your relationship with your dogs and your cats as good as I possibly can. Great time to give me a call, by the way, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Janet, Rabbi, don't go anywhere. A quick break, then right back to your phone calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. You're listening to The Pet Show. That's all I ask. And we are back on the Pet Show on Warren Eckstein. Hey, remember, you should subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do share a lot of information there, so check out youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. A lot of videos there, a lot of fun. Check it out. And subscribe, it's free. Let me get back to the phone lines here. We're going to go to Janet in Lancaster. Hey, Janet, welcome to the Pet Show.
Thank you, Warren. My husband listens to you quite often.
Why your husband and not you?
Well, because I'm usually in another room playing with cats.
There you go. I can listen. As long as you're playing with cats, you don't have to listen to me. What can I do to help you out?
Well, first I'll let you know I live kind of out in a rural area. So the first question is because of that, I guess. My cats, whenever my family come over to visit or my neighbor comes over to visit, they run and hide.
I do the same thing when my family comes over.
Well, I was just wondering, how can I get them to...
Do you have a lot of people coming over, or does your family come over infrequently?
Infrequently. It's
okay,
not,
so in other words, cats learn by association. So it simply means that if people were coming over more often, this would be a lot easier to resolve. But the fact that they're not coming over more often makes it a little more difficult. But again, we can still do it. If you have some friends you can work with, if not, what I'd like you to do is whenever the cats are home by themselves, I want you to leave a talk station on so they hear voices all the time. They're not shy with you, they're only shy with other people. Maybe what you can do is have some of your family members, next time they come over, let them leave an article of their clothing behind with their scent on it so the cats can get familiar with their scent without necessarily them being around, because cats are going to be much more judging people on their scent than by visual, by their eyes. So that might be beneficial as well. But let me tell you, it's not unusual for cats to run and hide from people. They're small little animals. I'm sure you live in a rural area, so it's relatively quiet. So when people come over, that noise level and the activity level, all of those things change. So there's one way you can resolve it: have more parties and invite people over all the time. Or get the cats used to it, or just kind of leave that radio on, get some of those scents around. I think that would be real beneficial. And also, if they run and hide in a specific room in your house, what I would do, if you have some close friends or family, have them come over, have them just sit on the floor in that room where the cats are hiding. The cats don't have to come out. I don't care whether they come out or not. Just have them sit on the floor, and at that point, do it for 5 or 10 minutes and then leave. Every time the cats are exposed to people and nothing happens, with a more consistent level, that behavior will dissipate as well.
Okay.
It's not easy because you don't have that many people coming over. So you need to be more social. I'm telling you, you need to do to have more people. Did we lose you? Oh, Janet, we lost.
Well, no, it's just that's about all we have.
No, I know, but follow my advice. I'm sure it's going to work for you. Also, when people come over, I'm going to put you on hold, and I'm going to send you some kitty lickies. When people come over, let them just sit on the floor. Just put the kitty lickies around on the floor so that the cats associate something positive with the people. Now, that was a quick answer. I know it was a quick answer. This is radio. I don't have time to go into a whole lot of detail with you. That's why you should go to my YouTube channel. But again, if you have a cat that's fearful of people or just not been socialized around people, you need to do it gradually. And doing it gradually is very difficult when people are only coming over on a sporadic basis. So that's why I recommended the radio on, so there's voices constantly, different voices besides Janet and the family there. And I think that's going to make a big difference. And when people come over, if you have someone in the neighborhood, maybe a friend or a teenager, have them come over, just sit on the floor in the same room with the cats. The more exposure cats get to people, and the more it ends in something positive, like the kitty lickies, the quicker they're going to adapt. And let me tell you, I have taken cats out of shelters, abused, that would run and hide here, run and hide there, and it took a lot of work and a lot of patience, but I had 33 cats at one time. Not all of them were Morris, but they didn't all hide. They would come out and at least take the time to investigate people. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I'm going to get to your other phone calls, but I want you to listen to me carefully. The euthanasia rates are 3-year high. They're at a 3-year high. 8.5% of animals that enter shelter system are being euthanized. 8.5%. That's a bigger percentage than just a year ago. That's why it's important for people to help. Here's the bottom line. A lot of people say, well, I can't adopt. I have a couple of dogs in myself, or maybe I can't adopt because I travel. Here's other things you can do. You can foster. You can be a transport person. So they need a lot of people to move animals from a shelter to a home or to a foster location. You can volunteer at the shelters. You can donate. You can do what a lot of people on my social media do. You can share animals on social media, and you can reach out for help at the same time. So it's not just a matter of being the one who adopts the dog or cat from the shelter. The important ones are equally the foster, the transport, the volunteer, the donate, the share on social media, the reaching out for help. There are so many things that people can do. And when people say, well, there's nothing I can do, they may be right. There's nothing they can do, but there's nothing that other people can. So it's really critical. They need your help. The shelters, let's get as many animals. Not that I wish this on anybody, but if you were to spend one morning with me, I should bring Denise on one time, because the time she gets up in the morning, I'm in tears. If you were to spend one morning with me on my social media and just see the dogs, the cats, and other animals as well that come into me from Guam, from Hawaii, from Louisiana, from North Dakota, from South Dakota, all these, just by the time I wake up in the morning, I get up at 4 o'clock pretty much every morning. By 5 o'clock in the morning, I have literally viewed probably 2 to 250 different dogs and cats in dire straits, in horrible situations that need homes. So do something. We can't all do it all, but everyone can do something to make that change, and that's important to me. Let me take a quick break, then we'll get back to Rabbi, and we'll try to get to Pete as well. But right now, I'm And we're back on the Pet Show on Warren Eckstein. Here's the deal. Robbie, I could take your call, but if I do, it's going to be a short call, and I don't want to rush you. You've been waiting too long. Pete, you got a great question, and Pete from Covina lost his dog, wants to rescue a lab. So here's what I'm going to do. You all know by now that when I get off the air here on KRLA, I do my international show and my radio show for Radio America, as well as Armed Forces Radio all across the world, starting at 1 o'clock. Robbie, Pete, anyone else out there that has a question I didn't get to, write this number down, but don't start calling till 1 o'clock. It's the same type of show. I'll give you guys the same type of gifts, but this way I won't have to rush you, Robbie. I won't have to rush you, Pete, as well. I could spend more time answering your questions. So write this number down. This goes for everyone out there. As I said, the same type of show, same type of gifts. The phone number for the national show, the international show, 877-725-8255. 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. That is the way to get through. Thank you, guys. We'll be speaking again, obviously, next year. I want you to do this. Check out my YouTube channel. There's lots of videos there. Small, when I say small, short videos, long videos, lots of fun stuff as well. Subscribe. It's free. I'm telling you, there's a lot of information there. Check out youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Also, if you want to follow me on my Facebook, you know my Facebook was hacked a while ago. Here's my new Facebook. It's real easy to remember, facebook.com/Warren Pet Talk. Facebook.com/Warren Pet Talk. I want you guys to have a really super week. Until next week, you know what to do at this point. Give all of your pets a big hug and a kiss for you, a special one right between the ears for me. And thank you once again for listening to The Pet Show and loving your dogs and cats as much as we all do. I'm Warren Eckstein. We'll talk to you all next week. Until then, have a great one.